everyone, it's Meg and welcome back to another weekly reading vlog. It is Monday, the last week of February, and I've just come back from a glorious walk in the sunshine with my mum and my sister. It feels like spring today, which is so nice, and hopefully we will get a little bit more spring weather over the coming weeks. It would be really lovely. But I am back doing another weekly reading vlog. I feel like I've been pretty good at doing these weekly reading vlogs over the past couple of weeks, or over February at any rate. Very proud of myself for keeping this momentum up. Obviously, with all reading vlogs, I'm going to show you guys what I am going to be reading throughout this reading vlog. So I'm reading two books at the moment. So the first book I am reading is Medinsky Square by Eva Iverson, and I literally started this morning. I am on page 3, so not very far into it, and I picked this up. This is a historical fiction novel set in 1910 Vienna, and it is basically like a year in the life of this dressmaker who has a shop in this little square called Medinsky Square, and it's about the people who work there, who live there, who pass through it. And I'm very much looking forward to reading it because apparently if you like Laura Wood books, and you guys should know that I love Laura Wood, apparently you will really like Eva Iverson's books, and Laura actually did an introduction for this, so I had to pick it up, and this is the last historical fiction novel I have on my physical TBR, I believe, so that's very exciting. So then when I've read this, I can do a historical fiction recommendation video, which I've been wanting to do for ages. And then I'm also reading a poetry collection, and that is Where Hope Comes From by Nikkietu Gill, and I hauled this in my last reading vlog, so I will leave it in the description if you want to go and check that vlog out. And I started this last night because I finished my previous book last night and I didn't want to pick up another fiction book. So I'm on page 31, and this is basically a collection that Nikkietu wrote during lockdown and during this pandemic, which is obviously still ongoing, and it is kind of what, like, her experiences and kind of like messages of hope and all that sort of thing when it comes to this time. And it is very much related to the pandemic, obviously, but yeah, it's a book that I feel like a lot of people would find comfort in this time. So I'm not very far into it. Like I said, I'm hoping I will finish this week. This is under 300 pages, but the text is quite small, so we'll see how I get on with this week. But yeah, so these are my two books that I am reading this week. I'm very excited to get to both of them. We'll see how well I am with like finishing books, but I have been pretty good. I finished like 3 books in like the past 2 weeks, so you gals have been doing pretty well so far. But yeah, so like I said, it's Monday and I have my day off from work today. I am working the same days as I did last week, so I'm doing 5 days, but my hours are a little bit different, so I'll try my best to update you guys as much as possible with my reading and doing montage clips and all that sort of thing, because I feel like I was lacking in that in my last vlog. But we shall see. So it is the afternoon. It is like nearly 3:30 actually, and I haven't done any work yet, so I want to try and do some writing. I may do a little bit of writing update in this vlog, we will see, because I have some deadlines for some poetry competitions a week today, so I want to get on that and try and get with it, especially since I only have 2 days off this week. So yeah, so that's my plans, and that is what I'm reading. So welcome to this vlog. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to go off and do some writing now, and hopefully it'll be productive, and then I will update you guys once I have done some more reading. Wednesday afternoon. I've just got home from work and I came home to an empty house, which is very, very rare. My parents went to take my sister back to uni because obviously in the UK we had an announcement on Monday about how kind of we're going to battle COVID and all that sort of thing. So universities who are doing practical courses are going back beginning of March. So my sister has gone back to uni today. So I've come home to an empty house, which is actually very nice, seeing as I never get a moment to myself at home these days, because obviously we're always all at home, except myself, of course. So I've just got home, very nice. I have a cup of tea waiting for me downstairs, but before I go and drink that, I thought I'd give you guys a quick reading update. Must admit, I've not done too much reading. I just haven't been feeling it, and I've kind of been in the mood to play Animal Crossing, so I may play a bit later on. We will see, but I have read a bit of both books so far. I have read more of my poetry collection, Where Hope Comes From, and I'm on page 65, so I'm almost or about halfway through, and like, I don't mind this book. I feel like this book, like, I don't know, I don't really know how to explain my thoughts on this. I feel like Nikkietu's writing I prefer when it comes to novel in verse format rather than poetry. I just don't really feel anything at the moment when I'm reading her poetry, and this collection I especially should, because it is written during COVID, and it is very appropriate book to read during this time. But I don't know, I'm just not vibing with it a lot. Like, there are illustrations in here and they're beautiful, but I guess I just don't really like Nikkietu's, or like vibe with Nikkietu's like writing style and stuff, which I feel is strange seeing as I really enjoyed her novel in verse. But I don't know, I'm just like I'm not hating it, but I'm not loving it at the same time. But I do definitely plan on finishing it, because hopefully I will kind of like some of the poems. I have annotated it. Sorry, my cats, let me get my cats off. But yeah, like, hopefully it'll get better a bit later on. Like I said, it's not bad, I don't dislike it, I'm just not absolutely in love with it. I'm kind of having like a similar situation when I read one of her previous poetry collections, but I feel like it is definitely a book very appropriate to read at this time, obviously because of the situation. And then I have read a bit more of Medinsky Square, and I've not read a lot. I'm on page 22, and like I said, I've not read a lot. I feel like I will read this a bit more slowly. Even though it is a short book, it does have small text, and I feel like there's a lot of information to like gather when reading this book. It's a contemporary, and like I said previously in the last clip, it's kind of like a year in the life. It's about our main character, Susanna, who basically keeps a diary so she can remember like all the dailiness, is a quote that she puts in here. I will read it for you. So this is basically why she's writing this diary. She says, "I shall remember my tragedies, my follies and my joys. Everyone remembers those. But what of the ordinary things, the little happenings? What of the dailiness? Who has a care for that?" So that's kind of why she's keeping this diary, to kind of get a thought and essence of this life that she is in, so then maybe somebody may find it later on and be like, ah yes, that's what it was like back then. So I'm just getting, obviously it's contemporary and it's a historical fiction, but I feel like there's a lot to take in at the moment, because she is describing this place so vividly and so richly, which is amazing. And it's also kind of getting to know the characters, because there are a lot of characters. They're not very big characters, but there are still a lot, because you get to meet all the people who live and work in the square. So yeah, hopefully I will get through this. I'm not going to finish it this week, I don't think, but we will see how we go. I am enjoying it. It's a lot for me to process, and I am reading it a little bit slower, which is fine. So that is my little reading update for now, and like I said, I am going to go and sit downstairs now because it's rainy outside, so I'm going to sit with my cup of tea and either read or play a little bit of Animal Crossing before doing a bit of writing this evening. So that's my plan. So I'm going to go and do that now, and then update you guys when I have done some more reading. about to go off to work very soon, but before I did, I thought I'd give you guys a reading update, and it is the next day, by the way. It is Thursday, and last night I finished Where Hope Comes From by Nikkietu Gill. You may have seen in some previous clips, I kind of just had a bit of a chilled evening. I did some writing, did a little bit of reading. I must admit I didn't really read any of Eve Ibbotson. Medinsky Square, I did read a bit of it this morning, however, and I did kind of enjoy the bit that I was reading. However, I do feel like this book, because my mum has read this book and I was talking to her about it this morning. I'm on page 34, by the way, so still not very far in, but I feel like some of it is just a tad confusing. Kind of, I don't know whether it's the writing style or the fact that it's a very rich description and there's a lot of characters and stuff, but I feel like I did definitely get into this bit that I just read then, so hopefully I can kind of really get into it a bit more. But yeah, so on to Where Hope Comes From. I did enjoy it. As you guys will have saw, I rounded my rating up to 4 stars. I am actually going to give it a 3.5 or a 3.75 rating. Obviously Goodreads don't do that, so I rounded it up to 4. I did enjoy this book, and I feel like it is definitely a very appropriate read for the time that we're currently in, that I'm currently filming this video, even though I feel like you could obviously read it once and whenever this whole situation is over. And there are some poems that I tabbed, you can't really see, but I did tab a couple of them, and I love the illustrations in it. And overall, but I just kind of, it was in a similar situation when I read one of Nikkietu's other poetry collections, which was Wild Embers. I just don't connect with it. I don't feel as much as I want to feel when I'm reading her poetry, which is kind of strange because I really adored her novel in verse. But I guess I just must prefer her writing in terms of like telling like a full story instead of in a poetry collection. But I did really enjoy it, and if you're looking for a new poetry collection, I definitely recommend this, especially if you kind of want a little bit of hope during this weird and crazy time. And I love how it's kind of told in like the stages of a star, like a star's birth and death and all that sort of thing. It was very interesting. So yes, definitely did enjoy this book. And I do have a couple of other poetry books that I've been putting off reading that are on my bedside table that I do need to finish. I don't know if I'll pick any of them up in this vlog, we will see, but my main priority for this week is Medinsky Square. Like I said, don't think I'm going to finish it, but I'm going to try my best to maybe get to like page 100, and then I should be at the halfway point, so that is my plan. So just thought I'd give you a little reading update before I went to work. So I have finished a poetry book and I have made a teeny tiny bit of progress with my novel. So that's all for now. I'm going to go off to work. It is a really gorgeous day today, which is really nice because it was very horrible and rainy yesterday. But yeah, so I'm going to go off to work now, and I will talk to you guys probably when I have read some more of Medinsky Square. So it is now kind of early Sunday evening, and it's been so nice, the weather this weekend, like legit so beautiful. But you guys have probably seen a couple of clips from the past few days. Also, sorry if you can hear my dad, he's playing his flute at the moment. And I worked yesterday. I only did half a day, which was really nice, and then in the afternoon I did some reading sprints on Jodie's channel, which was really fun. We kind of did some afternoon ones, which was actually really nice because we could do it in the daylight. And today has been a really chilled day. It's been my day off work, so I spent the morning sorting Finn out, which was really nice, and spending time with him because the weather's been so lovely. And then I've just kind of been doing a few chores, and I've just been doing water painting even. watercolour painting to be precise. Wow, words. And you guys probably might have seen a few clips with that, and that's been really fun. And I have read a reasonable amount of Medinsky Square. I did read quite a lot last night. Didn't really read a lot on the reading sprints because I went on a bit later because I had to go and sort the horses out before I went on the sprints and after I got home from work. But I have passed page 100, so I am on page 110, and I'm definitely getting into this book a lot more now. I feel like it's a book that you have to just sit down with for a longer period of time and read, so you can get into the story, get to know the characters a bit better, because there are a lot of characters in this. But I really love our main character, Susanna. I think she's a very headstrong and forward-thinking woman for the time that this book is set. And I love the descriptions of Vienna, which is a place I've never been to. And yes, I am enjoying it very much, and kind of learning more about her backstory as well, because there's been quite a few like little back bits and stuff, kind of her telling us about her life and how she came to be where she is today. So I really enjoyed that, and hopefully I can finish this by the end of next week, as long as I kind of prioritise reading a bit more. But yes, very glad that I'm finally getting into this book and finding it a little less confusing now, which is really nice. But yeah, so that is it for this reading vlog. I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Didn't quite get as much reading done this week as I have done in my previous reading vlogs over the past couple of weeks, but I am glad that I'm finally getting into this book, and hopefully I can finish it by the end of next week. So thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments what you are currently reading and if you are enjoying it and your thoughts on the book that you are currently reading, because I would love to know as always. If you like this video, then please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more bookish videos from me, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and little bell icon so you'll be noted every time I post a new video. As always, I will leave links to my social media along with the links to my Goodreads in the description down below for you guys. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!